What's up everybody, and welcome back to Ark Survival Ascendant. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some breeding for mutations and really how to set up and use the Ark Smart Breeder program that I have shown on a couple of videos. You may have seen it pop up in the side of a dino video where I've been taming something and I wanted to check out the stats. And I've gotten a question in the comments about how that works. So I wanted to take a look at that and go ahead and go through my process for breeding for mutations. So let's jump in. So Ark Smart Breeder can be found at this address on GitHub. I'll put this link in the description below so that you'll have that. But if you're interested in getting it, you just go to that website. You scroll all the way to the bottom. You've got a bunch of little pictures here that kind of take you through. It's kind of a user guide. It's got some stuff in here about the various settings and whatnot, and what you can expect, and what to do about certain results. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you click this link for the latest release, you'll be taken to this page. It'll look like this. You go all the way down to the bottom of this one, and you have a couple of options. You've got the exe you can download or the zip file. The zip file you can download and extract, and you're going to run it from the zip folder. The exe more or less downloads it and installs. If you run it, it installs it more like a traditional program. I actually have the exe version installed, the little installer here, and I think it works just fine. In the past, I've used the zip version, and that's worked just fine too. So it's really up to you about how you want to have it installed on your system, because the program's going to work the same regardless of which installation method you use. So that's that part, and let's take a look at the actual program. Okay, so I went ahead and uninstalled my copy of Ark Smart Breeder so that we can go through the installation process. I downloaded the exe, the installer, the setup program, and we're just going to click on that to run it. It's going to launch everything on the other windows, so I'm going to have to drag it over here. So we're going to choose, yes, we want to install it. We're going to choose our language. You may have an error message that pops up depending on what version of Windows you're using. It's a security warning because it's not a known publisher to Windows. So you're just going to have to go through that. Choose to trust it. It is an OK installation file if you download it from the link that I provide. So we're going to choose our language. I speak English. Okay, welcome to Ark Smart Breeder Setup Wizard. Next. That's the folder we want to install it in. Yes. I do not want to create a start menu folder. And I do want to download images, but I personally do not like desktop shortcuts. So we're going to get rid of that. Choose next, install. It's going to go through the process of installing. We're going to choose to launch Ark Smart Breeder right now. And there it is. This is a blank version of Ark Smart Breeder. No library, nothing like that. So once you have it all installed, you're going to go into the settings. Click settings, go into settings. It's going to bring up this window right here. So these are all your multiplier stats, or your stat multipliers, I should say. Like your dino multipliers, your breeding multipliers, taming multipliers, all of that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select these options based on what your game is. So we do not have single player for ours. It is not ASC, it's ASA. We do have speed leveling allowed on the server, and we allow flyer speed leveling as well. So instead of going through and changing all of these individual settings, we're going to start off with a little bit of a shortcut. Manually load settings from file. So if you're just playing single player, you're going to want to go to your program files, Steam, common, steamapps, common, Ark Survival Ascendant, ShooterGame, saved, config, Windows, then you're going to want to load Game.ini. I'm not going to do that because my Game.ini, my single player file, is kind of goofy because I use it for testing and whatnot. I don't actually play on single player. So what I have is, I'm going to go to my desktop. I have my server files downloaded here. So Ark Survival Ascendant, ShooterGame, saved, config, Windows Server, Game.ini. This is the same file just for the server instead of for the single player. I'm going to choose open that. There's nothing here to reset, but I'm going to go ahead and choose reset then import. And there you go. So then all of my multiplier setting, or my breeding multipliers and my dino multipliers, which all of that is the same. I got to uncheck single player again because I do not have single player settings on. A couple of settings you need to change manually. Taming speed multiplier, mine's at 3. I don't think any of this is different. I'm going to set my max level to 180 like it is on the server. Everything else is the same. So if I choose OK, that's going to save that. But there's one other thing I want to do. I want to go into this import exported. So whenever you export a dino into Ark Smart Breeder, you will have to go into this import exported data to bring the dino into your library. And I can show you how that works here shortly. But an easier way, the way I like to do it, is to auto import. So I will choose to auto extract imported creatures and add to library. So as soon as I export the dino from the game, it'll automatically just load up an Ark Smart Breeder if the program's running. And really that's the only settings that I change. There are some other things in general that you can look at for various things. Honestly, I can't really say much about the rest of this stuff because I don't use the timers. I don't use the overlay. I don't even know what this is. Something about being able to take stats from screenshot. But really, the multipliers and the import exported is all that I change. And I get a lot of use from just that. So there's a lot of features to dig into, and if you enjoy that kind of thing, please do. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this little import exported data, and I'm going to show you how this works. So if you don't have the auto import turned on, you'll open this up and you'll get something that looks like this. So this is the Megatherium that I uploaded that was not extracted. All you got to do is click copy values to extractor, and it's going to pull it up just like this. And something's wrong with the way I have things set up. Okay, so it turns out that Smart Breeder does not like me having the single player setting turned off. And I'm not sure, I'll have to look into it, but I never selected single player settings for the server. Maybe it's on by default or something, or I put it on there by mistake. But either way, currently there's some investigation to do because it will not extract properly without the single player settings tick box checked. So if you're having difficulties with your uploads, having the red boxes like that, you might want to try checking a couple of these settings, toggling them on and off just to kind of see if that helps you as well. So we'll go in here. We've got our Megatherium from the server. We're going to copy the values to the extractor. The extractor is actually just this tab right here. And you can put these numbers in here manually as well. So if you have one, I don't know, for whatever reason you don't have the ability to upload from your game, you could just manually type in all of these numbers and extract. But I'm going to copy the values to the extractor from my exported dino. All the boxes are going to turn green. I've got wild levels in the first column. Mutations are going to be in the second one. The third column right here is the domestic levels, the levels that you chose to click the little X and add them yourself. These are the stats you can go up and down with. I really wouldn't recommend messing with this unless you're putting the numbers in manually. And then you have your breeding values on the other side here. These are the stats that are going to be passed on to offspring. So if I was to breed this with something else and there was no mutations and they inherited all the stats from this dinosaur, these stats would be the ones that would be on the baby. Right there. So if everything looks good, you're going to click Add to Library. And that's going to go to the library right there. So you got the name, the owner, the tribe. You can add a note. There's a lot of stuff in here, and you can choose to utilize this information or ignore it. Really, the important thing for me is this information right here. These are the points that are in each stat. Everything else is kind of just extra. And who knows, you may get into this and really start to figure out all the different variables and find a lot more use in this program than I do. But I feel like for my purposes, the breeding that I do, this is way more information than I have without this program. So it's a great benefit. So I hope that kind of helps you understand Smart Breeder and how I use it. Actually, before get rid of that, before I do this, I'm going to delete this and I'm going to just add my library back in here. I have it somewhere. My desktop, right here. There it is. So this is my current library, and you can see all the different dinos I have. If you go into the megatheriums, these are all my breeder megatheriums, and this red here is more or less just telling me that I have crappy stats. But I want crappy stats on these. I want to have the lowest stats possible because, especially look at this. Like I got it all the way down to 0 oxygen and 1 food. That's amazing. So if I mutate damage and HP, it kind of sucks that I don't have anything on damage, but I'm going to be mutating that anyway and adding it to a different dino later. But mutate the damage 20 times, mutate the HP 20 times, combine those lines and have the 40 mutations, then trade that on to a high level dino down the road. Man, it's going to be powerful. But let's get started at that. So here we are on the server. We've got 8 female megatheriums, level 5. And they have the stats that I showed you just a second ago where they are very, very low stats. But it doesn't matter because now we know that we can mutate these and we can transfer it to a high level dino with good stats. So let's just go through the process here. I'm going to set this guy to breeding. I've got the female set to breeding already. This male is going to be set to breeding. Oops. There you go. We'll just sit here and we'll let these guys breed until we get a mutation. Breeding live birth dinos is a lot more time consuming than egg layers because there's no oviraptor to catch the babies for the live bears. You just have to sit here and watch the whole process. With the egg layers, you can go and do other things. Come back and just hatch the eggs all up in bulk. Alright, so we've got a baby here. We gotta claim it, export it, and it got a food mutation. So sad. But just for reference, it's been about 12 minutes on super boosted settings to get our first mutation. So this is going to be quite the lengthy process. Oh, looks like we might have another mutation. Yep, there's one. Let's see what the stats come up as. That is a mutation in health? Yes, it is. Just make sure that that is a health mutation. Come on. 8882. All right. Yep, this is a health mutation. So we're going to turn everybody off. Disable. I know I have the little baby following me. There you are. I'm just going to stop you right there. One of the good things about... Well... You get a lot of meat. You get a lot of extra meat. Put them right in there. Alright, let me clear out all these not mutated ones. And we'll go from there. So a lot of times in identifying a level, or identifying a mutation, one of the first things you're going to see is going to be a color change. And then the next thing you'll see is the level increase. And then using something like Smart Breeder, you can see where the actual mutation took place. I like to name these guys based on what they are. So this is my HP 3 points. And I'm going to put... I didn't even look at the gender on this. Oh, it's a female. So the problem with females is that I can't breed a female with my group of clean females. So I'll have to take this female and breed it with the males. Or the male, one male, over and over again until I get a male with the carried over stat mutation. No fun. Let's get this girl raised up and then we'll move on to the next step. Yeah. I didn't know you can make the baby sit. Okay, I'll bring it back in a second. You know what? While that one's growing up, I'm actually going to turn these back on. I'm going to see if I can get my melee line started as well. Let's go! Melee line. Come on, tail. Get out of my way. Let's go, let's go. Let's get some melee going. Here we go. What are you? It has green feet. Really? It's another health mutation. Alright. Already got one of you. Wait, are you a male? Oh, it's a male though. Boom. So we're going to keep this male. We're going to get rid of the female. Because that is going to save us. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I want to do this. Yes. Come with me. I'll stay right there. Sorry, buddy, you're gonna have to go. Turn this off. This one off. You are no longer desired. Where'd you go? There you are. Alright, so now we're just gonna clear all these guys out. Sometimes it doesn't want to harvest the bodies. To do the little, whatever you call the little finger things. All right, and you got it. All right, so now we're going to let this one grow up. That. The meats. The green feet. All right, so we're going to rename this to 3 HP. One mutt. Ale. Alright. That's going to save us a lot of time breeding back the the stats to get a male is just have a male. It wants to go. I want it to go up there, but it wants to go on a walk with me, so I'm not going to take it up there. All right, so we're just gonna let this guy grow up. Then we'll move on. All right, our dude is all grown up. I'm gonna take this male here. Why aren't you doing that? There we go. I'm gonna cryo him up. And I'm actually gonna change this guy's name again because I'm gonna have 2 breeders. I'm gonna name him 3 HP, 1 mutt, male, 01. I'm gonna export that. It should just update. Yep, it updated the entry there. So I'll throw the saddle on this guy. Take him right up there and start breeding him with these ladies. Then I'm gonna find 1 male out of this that's gonna have the same stats, and I'm gonna use it for the other breeding group over there. This setup that I have right here is not really ideal for megatheriums because I'm not. The idea was to have 2 different breeding groups going. To have the like melee happening over here and the health happening over there, or whatever. But for now, I'm not sure I want to have 2 sets of megatheriums breeding 2 different lines. I don't want to get them mixed up. But maybe. We'll see. This guy to mating, and he's going to start breeding with all of those. All of them. Yep. Getting all of them. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll work on health on this side, melee on this side. Let's see what the first crop comes out as. Well, let's go. Yep. Level 5. You're no good. We want a level 9 for the next one. Okay. The first crop is no good. Oh, we got a mutation over here. Let's see what we got here. So we're looking for melee on this side. And what we got is something. Oh, yeah. We got a damage mutation with this guy. Sweet. Okay. So we need to turn the breeding off on here. Are you a male? And you're a male. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Take out all of these. What's your thing? You want to cuddle? Okay, good. Come on. Here. And all the ones down here can just be munched on. Alright, so now we're making progress. We've got a melee mutation and we've got a health mutation going. Working on 2nd generation for the health. Well, here we go. We got a mutation on this. It's a level 7. So let's investigate. Probably means we got a mutation on one of the other stats, but I want to just be sure. Yep, it's an oxygen mutation. And claim it. Gonna become Dino Chow. You really do want to have that extra level on top of it because that's going to indicate that the stat that you're mutating is the one that mutated. Come on. I see another mutation over there. I want to check it out. Okay, let's just switch it. Alright, this one's a level 9. So there's a good chance that we got what we're looking for here. Yes. That's our next one. Oh, it's a girl though. Alright, so I'll have to breed this girl to a clean breeder. We don't want to breed it to a mutated breeder because it's going to increase the mutation stack. No extra benefit. Of course, you want to go for a walk. Alright, so it took 4 breeding sessions, which isn't too bad, but it took 4 breeding sessions to get this male. These stats transferred over to the male. Some meat for it. Go. Alright. Now we can take this one back in the cryopod, or put it in the cryopod. And we can put this one in the cryopod. Got it. That. Okay. We'll let this other one grow up. We'll start breeding it back with the clean females. So more or less, that's just the process. Get out of here. So yeah, that's just the process. You do that over and over and over again until you get to the mutations that you want. Currently, we have 2 health mutations on this one, and we're starting our damage line. So we have the 1 mutation on damage. So we're just going to keep going until we have 20 of each, and then combine them, and then breed them to something strong out there. But I'm not going to take you through all the steps getting to all 20 mutations on both stats, but in a later video we'll definitely examine putting those stats together and breeding them to a high level megatherium. Then we can start breeding the boss fighters directly. But, well, folks, there's no denying that that is actually a very long and drawn-out process to breed for mutations. These guys are on their way. You know, I've already got the melee line started. I've got the health line started. A couple of mutations in on that one. But it's just going to take a lot of work to get these guys to where I want them. 20 mutations in each stat. But we're going to get there. And in the next video, we're going to go do some cave runs. We're going to go out and see if we can find some good blueprints. So, until next time, take it easy.